Hey guys, I'm Coach Michael Burt, Super Coach. Every single week, I come into your life really to do three things. Man, I've been on the road, Scottsdale, Dallas, Texas. Where else have I been, Jack? Scottsdale, Arizona. Where? Las Vegas with Brad Lee. Man, I got a topic today that I think is going to hit home for lots of people, and that topic is the best financial advice I've ever gotten to get rich. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 things I think you need to do, which is some of the best financial advice I've ever gotten. I was with 2 billionaires on Saturday night in Las Vegas, one of the most qualified rooms I've ever been in. There were real people making real money, folks. And it got me to thinking, I got to help you not only activate your prey drive, I got to help you figure out how to take that prey drive and turn it into money. So today on Super Coach, my weekly podcast, you can find on everywhere. Just search America's Coach, anywhere good podcasts are found. Today, I'm going to give you my 5 top strategies for the best financial advice I've ever gotten to get real rich. So if you guys are ready for it, here we go, folks.
Everybody needs a coach in life. Coaching businesses and entrepreneurs like you to spike an additional 40% to your bottom line. Michael Burt is a multi-championship coach, best-selling author, trainer, motivator, and all-around super coach. Now, from the Greatness Factory Studios, this is Super Coach.
All right, welcome to Super Coach, folks. Every Monday, I come into your life. Thank you for joining me on Facebook. If you're out there on Instagram, thank you. Every single week, I do a podcast. I'm here at the Greatness Factory Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm about to head out of town again, go to Dallas, Texas, to speak to Liberty Tax franchise owners, meet the CEO of Liberty Tax. Hopefully, we're going to put together a big deal. And then I'm headed down to Florida, to Seaside, Florida, and Watercolor, Florida, where we're doing a couples retreat called Living with a Monster. Now, we've sold this retreat out. There are no more bedrooms. There's no more space if you're out there. But we just put out to the marketplace that you literally could go in October. We're going to be updating the website. So if you're interested in the couples retreat in October, you can spend some time with us. And, man, it's going to be incredible. Going down there, spending time, getting on the same page, talking about big goals, talking about big dreams, talking about big hopes, and how do you get on the same page with each other? Now you notice I got my VIP band on. We sold X number of tickets. We're selling a lot of tickets this Monster Nation conference in Nashville, Tennessee. This thing is going to be hot. My good buddy Brad Lee is going to be speaking. Chuck McDowell, Doug Wood, Tia Wood, Brad Parnell, Jeannie Rocket. Listen, Cody Askins, 8% Nation, folks. If you haven't got your ticket, what are you doing? Because one of my 5 things I'm going to talk about today is how to get in the room. Connections and exposure. That's how you get rich, folks. You get around people who's got money. And then you follow up with those people and solve a problem for them. Listen, you're never going to get rich hanging around circles of people that are unqualified. Okay? It just ain't happening, folks. I don't care how bad you want to do it. You got to get around people, right? I was spending time with who's a billionaire now, a guy named Jim Ayers, a founder of First Bank many years ago, and I spent time with him, and I said, man, give me your best advice about money. Jack, you know what he said? If you want to make money, you got to get around people who's got money. Saturday in Las Vegas, what a qualified audience, man. Brad Lee put more people in, 50 people in a room, more dollar for dollar money people than I've seen in a long time. 2 billionaires, Glenn Stern, Jeff Hoffman, founder of Priceline, in the room, folks. Guys trying to buy the Titans, Jack. Here's the deal, man. If you want to make money, you got to get around people who's got money, folks. You got to step back and you got to start thinking about a few things. So today, I'm going to talk about the best financial advice for getting rich. If you're out there and you want to make more money, who doesn't want to make more money? And if you don't, there's something wrong with you probably. I got to break it down because a good coach will codify this. Okay? A good coach will codify this. And so I'm going to put it into 5 things today, Jack. 5 things for out there listening to us, folks. Love your comments. Thank you for the comments. But if you're out there and you're serious about this, let's start with number 1. How do you define rich? See, to me, if you want to get rich or super rich, the first step is to step back and ask a simple question. How do you define rich? Is it $10 million? Is it X number of millions of dollars in the bank? Is it $100,000? if you go back to the old Kiyosaki days of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he defined rich as your passive income exceeded your expenses. So I remember working with Sharon Lechter, and Sharon Lechter told me when she met Robert Kiyosaki, his net worth was $250,000. That's it. Okay, but he had this passive income. His living expenses were only $55,000, and his passive income from owning one apartment complex exceeded his monthly expenses. So he was rich. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. He also wrote the book Retire Young, Retire Rich. You could retire 31 years old if your passive income exceeds your expenses. Now, if you have living expenses of $300,000 and you got to earn, right? Some people have bought themselves a job, folks. They don't own a company. They don't have any passive income. I'll show you. Last night I was sitting down drawing up. These are key connections of people that I met over the past week. Two billionaires on there, folks. I know more than two, by the way. I know more than two billionaires, but these are all people who are movers and shakers. Then I was drawing. This is on my daughter Ella Grace's notepad, by the way. These are passive income plays. Now, here's the problem for most people, guys. You sit around and you dream about it, but you don't do it. You get caught up in the rat race, man, trying to make a sale, trying to put together one deal, and you don't step back and you don't think, how do I really build passive income? How do I really get wealthy? What does wealth mean to me? Is it a certain amount of money in the bank? Is it so much for retirement? Is it so much money that you're investing? I put X number of dollars away in an account every single month that goes nothing to an investment account. In that investment account, I may buy real estate. I'm closing on 3 real estate deals this weekend. I'm selling a property. I'm selling a piece of land. I'm purchasing a property. I'm buying assets. I'm not buying liabilities, folks. I'm buying things that will help us make more money. So last night I'm sitting down. I'm watching Tony Robbins, I Am Not Your Guru. I'm drawing up different divisions of my company. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, who do I need to know? Right? Who do I need to know? Who do I need to know? Who do I need to be connected to, Michael Chaney? Who do I need to know? Who are connections? So I'm already reach out to those people today, folks. Number one, best financial advice is let's get real clear. In my coaching program, we call that your B. Okay, if I'm trying to build a $10 million company or a $25 million company, that's a B. That's a desired outcome I'm trying to drive in a concentrated period of time. Everything I do needs to move toward that, okay? So number one, how do you define rich? I'm rich in my body. I'm rich in my mind. I'm rich in my heart. I'm rich in my spirit, Tracy. Okay, and I've got definitions in each area of my life that defines rich. Rich in my bodies, man, I got energy. I got vitality. I got motion, right? Rich in my mind, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm hungry, I'm getting better. Rich in my heart, I got strong relationships. My prey drive is activated. I'm operating in my strength zone. Rich in my spirit, that's my spiritual connection, my faith. Every day, baby. Right? How do you define rich? That's where we got to start, man. It's not just I want to make more money. Let's get clear on how much money you want to make. Let's get clear on what you're trying to drive. Let's get clear on how you're going to get there. So number one is, how do you define rich? Kiyosaki defined rich as your passive income exceeded your living expenses. That's it. You're rich when your passive income exceeds your living expenses. All right. Number two, and this is a big one. Most people are not in the right vehicle. I was a high school basketball coach for a decade, folks. And it didn't matter how hard I worked, how many hours I coached, how many games I won, I could not make any more money. Okay? I couldn't make any more money. It didn't matter how many games I won, folks. And I started to realize around 28 years old, man, the vehicle I'm in can't get me to where I want to go. You can't drive to Hawaii from the United. You can fly, you could take a boat, but the vehicle is a vehicle that cannot get me there. So I look at some people and I'm like, man, the vehicle can't get you there. If you look at a guy like Cardone, he said, man, he could never make the kind of money in speaking and coaching that he made in apartment complexes. He changed vehicles. He took money from one vehicle and he put it into another vehicle. He made money speaking and coaching and training and took that money, put it into apartment complexes. So at some point, you got to shift gears here and say, man, I'm going to take a percentage of this money that I'm making, And I'm going to find the right vehicle that can scale, can multiply, can help us play at a higher level. And so when I was drawing up last night, not only the connection, I'm basically writing out things that I'm going, man, what are passive income plays for me? Which, see, like on my vehicles, on my divisions of my company that I was drawing up last night, what I'm doing, D. Hodges, is I'm sitting there highlighting. This one will scale. This one will scale. This one produces a lot of money. This one produces a lot of work. Produces a lot of work, Jordan Edwards, but don't produce a lot of money. So some of you are in vehicles that, man, it don't matter how good you are. It don't matter how hard you work. It don't matter how much you push. Okay? Now, you may be a teacher out there and say, what do I do, man? I'm a teacher. I love coaching kids. Hal Urban was a high school teacher that also was writing books. He wrote Life's 20 Greatest Lessons. And guess what? He sold 10 million copies of that book. At $10 million, $10 of profit per book, dude made $20 million as a high school teacher. Okay, so you could sit there and say, man, the vehicle, I want to do this, could you start your own school? Could you tutor kids? Could you build private something? Could you do something? Folks, you got to start stepping back and looking at the vehicle. Some people, I tell them, man, I don't like your business model. I think your business model is limiting. I don't think it can scale. I don't think it's too dependent on you. This is why I've got different divisions, okay? Different roadmaps, different investments, things that can make more money. Now, I'm going to give you one more before I take a break. And this really speaks to the big play of what's the best financial advice I ever got. Number one, how do you define wealthy? Number two, can your vehicle even get you there? I remember telling one of my friends once, man, you can work all you want. You're not going to get there. You're not going to get to your financial goals doing what you're currently doing in your current vehicle. It's not happening, man. It's just not happening, okay? Number three is I'm going to put these into three categories. Connections, okay? Contacts equals contracts and revenue, okay? Connections, okay? Who are you connected to? Number two, connections and exposure. Okay, one way to get real wealthy is get around wealthy people. How do they talk? How do they respond? How do they act? And then remember this, money is exchanged when problems are solved or opportunities are presented. So I could put you in a room with some of the biggest people in the world, like I was in Las Vegas with Brad Lee. They were there from Dubai. There were two billionaires there. There were successful people there. Like I could put you in a room with all those successful people. But if you don't bring something of value that would help their life, it doesn't matter. If you don't follow up and solve a problem for them, it doesn't matter. You can be exposed to all kinds of successful people if you don't know how to present an idea, if you don't know how to add a value, if you don't know how to associate what they're doing with what you're doing, if you got limiting belief, like they can do it, but I can't do it. Like I could put you in the room with very successful people, but if you don't have something of value to attract them to you, they're looking at you like, hey man, it's nice to meet you, but you really don't bring anything of value to the table. And you didn't follow up with me, and we didn't put anything together, and you didn't solve a problem. Money changes hands when problems are solved or opportunities are presented. So if I was giving you financial advice, I'd say, look man, what rooms are you in? Are you in qualified rooms or unqualified rooms? Do you follow up with people? Do you not follow up with people? Do you solve a problem? Do you create a problem? Okay? And so when I was in those rooms in Texas and in Scottsdale and in Vegas, I bring a very special skill set, and we're going to get into that in just a few minutes, because if you're going to build wealth, see, I couldn't build wealth as a high school basketball coach. I couldn't build wealth around people that didn't have any excess cash. I couldn't build wealth selling products to people that can't afford that product or service. I need to be in a room and get exposed to people that are thinking in scale, at bigger levels, in multiplication, not addition. I need to be in a room. Then I need to bring something to the party. I need to follow up and solve a problem. I need to be an asset versus a liability. So number three is going to be connection and exposure. Exposure is an activator, a prey drive. Now, I want to tie this into a course I have coming up in May called Confidence and Execution. Right? In May, I'm doing a 4-week course on confidence and execution, because here's where you need confidence, Lisa Patrick. You need confidence to follow up with big-time people. right? If Jeff Hoffman, who founded Priceline, was there at Bradley's event, and I got his phone number, I need confidence to go back to Jeff to say, how could I be an asset to you? How can I help you? How can I, and I need to think, I need to meditate on it, I need to study it, I need confidence. Confidence is the memory of success. I need to know, man, I bring a value here. And I have a unique skill set that can solve a problem for you. I can make a connection. I can bring an energy. I can bring something. So you need connection and exposure, and you need confidence, man, like crazy. Now, we're going to post a link about my course on confidence so you can jump in that course. It's 4 weeks with me. Folks, it's $97, for the love of goodness. This is going to help you get your confidence where it needs to be and follow up. Now, when we come back, I'm going to give you 2 more that are going to change everything for you. Today, we're talking the best financial advice if you want to get rich. And you can define rich the way you want to. But I would tell you this, opposite of poor, opposite of broke would be a good start. Not just broke financially, broke mentally, broke spiritually, broke emotionally, broke in all 4 parts of your nature. This is where we got to do is we got to follow up and have something valuable to offer. You're watching Super Coach. Come on back. Tracy Whitney.
Flipped the switch. I didn't know what to expect, but it definitely did what it was supposed to. It flipped that switch.
Coach Burt is the real deal.
It's very impactful. You know, he looks you in your eyes and he makes sure he gets his point across.
When he's making a connection to you, the connection is real.
Love the fact that we were all able to come together, learn from one another.
He exceeded my expectations beyond my wildest dreams.
You know, I think there's a gear inside of people that many people have not found. There's a switch that has not been flipped. I'm writing a new book that's going to come out in 2021, and in the interim, we're putting together boot camps to test the ideas. This weekend was my first Flip the Switch boot camp, and it was incredible. The only thing I know to say, it was absolutely incredible. Think of it as success camp. Think of it as 24 hours with me on what I would teach myself if I was 20 years old again. Everything I've learned in 44 years of living. Incredible boot camp. Thank you to all the people that came. I can't wait to do another one. Welcome back to Super Coach. Folks, get yourself to the Monster Nation Conference. That's all I got to tell you. What would it be worth getting in the room with me for 3 days, spending time with some of the top people in the world, learning how to be legendary? Guarantee you're going to get your money's worth. Folks, you're going to get your money's worth just by sitting in the room, Tony Woodall, just by being in there with other like-minded. What was number 3 of getting rich again, Jack? Connections. And exposure to something bigger. Bigger think, right? And follow up, connection and exposure. So let me go through this. Today we're talking the best financial advice I could give you for getting rich, folks. I was a high school basketball coach, right? And I figured out I was in the wrong vehicle, Jeff the entrepreneur. I figured out, man, I couldn't get rich in the vehicle I was in. Couldn't get wealthy. Didn't have any excess cash left over, right? So I said, man, I got to get in bigger rooms. I got to refine some skills. I got to follow up better. I got to bring something of value, Timothy. Right? That's what I got to do. So today I'm talking about the 5 best things to do to get rich. Number 1, how do you define rich? You could define it as your passive income exceeds your monthly expenses. You could define it with a revenue number. We call that the B. Number 2, you got to get in a vehicle. Some of us are not in vehicles. Some of you are not in vehicles. You basically got yourself a job. And you can make a good living, a good lifestyle, but you can't get real rich that way, folks. You need scale. You need multiplication. You need something that lots of people need, or a niche of people need. You need recurring revenue. You need to be in a vehicle that can allow you to get rich. And you need to do this hard work I'm talking about. Like last night, I sat down at my house. After I wound down, everybody's in the bed. I turn on something that'll stimulate my mind. Man, I just pull out almost literally like crayons, and I start, drawing up these things. Now, that's of no value, folks, whatsoever, if I don't take an action. I can't tell you how many people's got dreams, hopes, wishes, goals. It's like the greatest salesman in the world, man. It's of no value unless you follow it up with action. Too many people get caught up in the rat race. Now I get back to work. I get caught up in the paperwork. I get refocused on doing small minutia, man. You got to stay focused on the bigs. Everything big started small. I get it. You got to sell something every day. But you need time put in there for dreaming, connections, follow-up. So number 3 is you need connection, you need exposure, and you need confidence, man. which is why I'm doing the course on confidence in May. You need all of these things. I'm going to type in, if you're watching me on Facebook, I'm going to type in the course on confidence, because I can't tell you confidence and execution. I can't tell you how many people, gosh, man, they got everything but confidence, Jack. They got excuses. They got whining. They got complaining, right? They got all that stuff, but what they don't have is they don't have the confidence to go do it, man. If I put you in a room, and this is really going to kind of play into what we're about to talk about here. If I put you on a stage, how good are you at articulating your value? So number 4, if you want to get real rich, is I think money doesn't buy freedom. I think skills buys you freedom. I think you have to develop a primary hard skill. I write about this. What's up, Albert Preciado? I talk about this in the book, Single Digit Millionaire. I talk about it in a lot of my books. You have to develop a primary hard skill. And that primary hard skill is used to solve a problem for other people. The better the skill, the more money you're going to make with that skill. Just remember what I said. Money doesn't buy you freedom. Skills buys you freedom, because skills helps you go get the money. So when you're thinking about this concept, I look at people and I think, who are the highest money earners in our society? Athletes, entertainers, entrepreneurs, coders, people who create something. Those are the highest money earners. Why? Because they have a skill. And that hard skill solves a problem. They got confidence coming out of their ears. They got courage. They got conviction. They got connections. Yes. But I'm telling you, folks, one of the biggest things they got is they got a freaking hard skill. What I mean by hard skill is a skill that is used to solve a problem for another person. It's a communication skill. It's a follow-up skill. It's taking something complicated and making it simple. It's marketing skill. It's some primary skill. Look at if you study the billionaires, they all have what's called a primary skill. That primary skill is their single greatest skill. Now, they add on or layer on secondary skills or additional skills to that. Man, they all got a primary skill. My primary skill is activating the prey drive in people. My primary skill is taking something complicated and making it simple. My primary skill is connecting to people through a cadence and a rhythm and a conviction, right, to coach people. That is my primary skill. Okay? Now, I need to add secondary skills to that: marketing and promotion, connection, networking, follow-up. These are secondary skills, but they're tied into the primary skill. So number 4 of the best financial advice I've ever gotten to get rich is, man, you got to develop a skill. The reason you're not making the money you want to make is your skills are not strong enough. Okay, when I spoke at 10X and we generated, say, $1 million from 10X, maybe we did a $250,000 that day, and then follow up with that to do $1 million or somewhere around there, or wherever I speak at. Listen, man, Russell Brunson did $3 million that day. You know why? Because his skills at pitching were better than mine. Folks, I don't get mad about that. I get embarrassed by it. And I'm like, man, damn it, I got to get my skills better. Your income is in proportion to your skill set. If you got weak skills, man, you make weak money. So the 4th way to the best financial advice, man, you got to skill up. And when I mean skill up, too many people, when I was a basketball coach, this bothers me, Jack. When I was a basketball coach, man, if you couldn't hit a shot, Jeff Jensen, you stayed after. If you were slow-footed, you worked foot speed with the strength coach. If you weren't strong enough, you stayed in the weight room. Salespeople don't do that, man. They don't hit their sales targets, and then they just up and go home. And they don't get any better. And they're wondering, why don't I make any money? Because your sales skills are not strong enough, man. You don't work hard enough. You don't skill yourself up. That's why you're not making any more money. And I can't help you till you get serious about this. Look, you got to go back to this concept. Money doesn't buy freedom. Skills buys you freedom. All right? And number 5, best financial advice I ever get. This is my financial advice to you, by the way, is number 1, man, you got to activate your prey drive. And this is the book I'm writing right now. And I see so many people, man, that want to take the easy route to everything. There is a time and place where you will be overpaid for what it is you do. There will be a time in your life where it will seem easier. You hear these people say, man, I worked less at this rate. That is true. But in the beginning, The prey drive has got to be activated. Is it fear of loss? Is it competition? Is it exposure? Is it environment? Is it embarrassment? For me, when I see big-time people and maybe they're outperforming me, many times what I say, man, is this embarrassing? They're not any more talented than I am. They don't have any better skill set than I do. Maybe they're better at marketing. Well, if they're better at marketing, then figure out, how do you market like them? How do you promote like them? Because you're never going to really become wealthy and rich until your prey drive is activated and you say, man, I'm going to get up and go get it every day. Now, when I go get it, I can do two things. I can fish for bluegills or I can fish for blue marlins. Blue marlins are big, juicy problems. Bluegills are small problems where you make small money. Okay, it's the real estate agent selling a house for $279,000 when he could be selling one for $21 million. Same problem you're solving. It's the coach that's selling people one-to-one when he could be selling to millions of people. It's the car salesman selling one-to-one versus trying to figure out how to own the car dealership. It's the prey drive has to be activated to go out there and pursue something bigger, right? What happens is we become static, stuck, bored, complacent. Why? All of our basic needs are met, man. Study every motivational theory in the world. They all say the same thing. We move toward things we want. What happens when we have everything we want? We become lazy. We become comfortable. We become complacent. We operate at a nominal level. So you really need these kick in the butt, man, moments where it comes along and says, damn it, I'm activating my prey drive. I'm sick and tired of playing at the freakish small level. It's like me taking my little basketball team over there, Jack, watching other people win a championship, then me winning a championship, then me going, all right, I'm over this. This is small ball, man. This is minor leagues. I'm tired of majoring in the minors. So these are my 5 ways, some of the best financial advice I could give you to get rich. Listen, rich is all relative. To me, people ask me all the time, what is rich? Is it 10 million? Is it 1 million? I think if you can get to earning $1 million a year in personal income, you're headed in the right direction. If you can build a $10 million company and get to 20 million, you're headed in the right direction. To me, that's rich. Now, super rich, can you get to 100 million? Can you get to 50 million? Can you get to 100 million? Can you get to a couple hundred million? Right now, we're talking in some big numbers. Now, there's people out there doing it, folks. I was there with 2 billionaires this weekend. There's people doing it. You could tell me all day long that you can't do it, but there's somebody doing it. Are they smarter than you? Do they have more confidence in you? Do they have more knowledge than you? Do they have more connections than you? Do they have more prey drive than you? What do they have that you don't have, and what is your version of that? Now, every single week, there's 2 things I'm going to do. I'm going to post in links, right? I'm doing a course on confidence, 4 weeks, course on confidence, me and you. It's $97. I'm going to break down confidence because to me, you could never go wrong. Even if you think you're real confident, this will increase your confidence. When you increase your confidence, you're going to go pursue opportunity. You're going to stay up at night like me, not just drawing up your plans. You're going to come in the next day and say, by God, I'm doing something about it. Today's the day I get off the hamster wheel. Today's the day I do something big. Today's the day I pick up the phone and make a connection. Today's the day I quit playing small ball, folks. I'm tired of majoring in the minors. Today is the day. So, confidence, 4 weeks with me. It's $97. Monster Nation tickets are on sale. Go to CoachBurt.com. Get the VIP ticket, folks. I'm doing a full extra day at my lodge, 8,000 square foot lodge for the people who take the VIP ticket. Private concert with Ashley McBride. 2 days with me in Nashville. So, it's 3 total days with me in Nashville. Hey, connections, confidence, exposure. We're working on your skill. We're helping you get wealthy. We're teaching you how to be legendary. Oh, yeah, and I'm going to expose you to some of the biggest people in the world, folks. I'm Coach Michael Burt. Every single week I come into your life, multiply money, multiply business. Get this download on YouTube or get it anywhere good podcasts are. Just search America's Coach. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. Thank you for letting me be yours.